All right, our next stadium was Huntington Bank Field, the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland, Ohio. Um, this was actually, I'm actually going to kind of start with the story time here because this was the first time I'd ever been kind of starstruck. We actually ended up driving to Cleveland for this game. Um, we stayed at a nicer hotel. It was pretty close to the stadium. It was kind of a last minute trip that we decided to go on. Uh, so I booked the hotel very last minute, and it was one that didn't offer like any parking on like the website. It didn't say anything. When we got to town, we kind of like circled a couple of blocks near where we were staying and couldn't find any like street parking garages, anything like that. So I had she dropped me off, and I walk in just looking for a place to park, and I look to my left, and I'm like, is that Derwin James just sitting on a little couch out in the lobby? And I'm like, nah, it can't be. They wouldn't be like hanging out in the lobby and whatnot. And so I go up to the desk, and that's all the like hotel attendants, receptionists, whatever they're called,
Look,
We're
here's the
gonna be
thing.
fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
are talking about is how like how weird it is to have all the Charger players just kind of hanging out in the lobby. And I'm like, holy shit, it is Derwin James. And I go back out, say, hey, there's a parking garage underground across the street. We need to just drive down this. He said, there's a little driveway right here. Just follow it and we'll go underground, pay for parking that way. And then there's a tunnel back to the hotel. We ended up doing that. When I come back, there's a downstairs to the hotel, and it's got like a sign that says like athletic training center, and it's got like the Chargers colors all over it. Go back upstairs, and then Joe Walt is sitting in the lobby talking to just a fan. And I'm like, oh my God! Wow! Holy cow. We go up, check into our room and everything. And I'm like, okay, we need to go back down there and just hang out because I just want to kind of see everything around. And we come back down, and I'm like, too big of a sissy to even attempt to be like, yo, hey, Khalil Mack, can I get your autograph? Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert, Cameron Dick, or any of them. If they were on the team in 2024, I seen them. I seen them, and it was the coolest thing ever. It was very cool seeing all of them come down. Joe All ate like 4 meals in like 2 hours. He had food delivered multiple times, or he came downstairs to get the food for other people. And it was cool. I got a story about Bud Dupree, but since he's still in the league right now, I'm not going to say my story. But it was cool just walking in and seeing the team just staying in the same hotel as we are. And I'm like, man, do we want to just try and go beat on some doors and see who answer? Like, the only person I didn't see was Harbaugh, but I seen Ortiz, all of them. Ortiz kind of like head nodded at me because I wasn't in a jersey, but I think I had a hoodie on that was Chargers related, and he was just like, how's it going? And I was like, man, just I'd love to just pick his brain. But very cool. We ended up just sitting in the lobby till like 11 o'clock at night watching just all the guys. There was a dad with his kid. It was his dad was bringing his kid to, I think it was only a second Charger game ever, and they got pictures with everybody. But I was just like, man, I'm kind of an adult. Like, I'm not too good to ask, but I feel kind of weird asking. So I never asked. I wish I would have, because I could have got probably almost everyone to sign something, take a picture, as long as they were willing to do so. But yeah, very cool experience. All right, so speaking on the stadium, I'm trying not to let the like fangirl in me skew the score on this at all. Yeah, the stadium was okay. I kind of really like the area and everything, but they do have an older stadium. It's probably one of the oldest in the league. Uh, we ended up giving it a 5.1 out of 10. It needs improvements. They need a new stadium, but like just the area that it's in, like right on the lake, just from where we stayed, we walked to the stadium. It was just, we took the tunnel back to the parking garage, took the elevator up to the main floor, and then we had to like go around another like ground level parking and come through, and we came right up. I got a small video of our walk to the stadium, and it was cool. Very nice area. It was just an older stadium, but I feel like they've maintained it well. It's just for an area like Cleveland that has harsh summers and harsh winters, it's hard to upkeep a stadium like that, which the Bears are kind of the same way, but the Bears had history and they kind of just tried to do away with the history and make it new and renovating it in 2000 whatever. It's just an awful stadium. I do think the Brown Stadium was better slightly, but I love the like atmosphere and everything around the Brown Stadium, Huntington Bank Field, and I'm pretty sure my wife did too. I think this is one of her favorites of the whole like everything we've been to, especially up to this point, because yeah, we'll talk about it and have more stuff throughout the fans and the rest of this video. But she got like their tailgate area. She got a bunch of stuff for just given given to us. The dog pound with all their dogs. I know it used to be a bulldog. Now it's mastiffs, and I've always had mastiffs my entire life. When I moved, I ended up getting a Cane Corso or a Cane Corso or Italian Mastiff, as they would call it here in the States. And so that was just a really cool experience too, getting to see the dogs, their mascot, and everything. And yeah, but Stadium 5.1 out of 10. Can't let my fangirlness of seeing the Chargers affect it too much, but the stadium's fine, but it does need improvements. The fans, we actually didn't have a problem with. This was another one that I thought like, dog pound, like rowdy your bunch, but it must just be that way for the AFC North. Like if the Steelers come, Ravens come, stuff like that. But we didn't have much of a bad experience. Now the Browns weren't doing too great this year. Deshaun Watson had just tore his ACL or something like 2 weeks before this. Jameis Winston came in last week and beat like the Ravens that were like 9-2 or something at the time, and everyone was like, "Great, Jameis Winston and the Browns are gonna beat our team that's in the playoff picture and knock us right out of it." And I was nervous, like Jameis is gonna come out here and throw 404, and luckily he had one of his 160 and threes of the opposite direction going back to us. And so it was like, thank God we won. But the Browns fans really liked him, really friendly bunch, rowdy bunch, drinkers, but it's my kind of people. One guy, he was Chargers fans that was near us, was like, yeah, we're going to make the playoffs. And a guy that was sitting right next to me, he's like, first overall pick. That's what we got. So it was just a little bit of a fun time. They were willing to joke, kind of heckle a little bit back and forth, but no big like, should we get up and leave or anything like that. So that was nice. We ended up giving the fans a 6.8 out of 10 because I kind of liked them. I liked being in that I like the dog pound, so yeah, 6.8 out of 10. Now, the concourse at this stadium left a lot to be desired for me, anyways. My wife kind of liked it. She got some mashed potatoes of some sort. They were like in a little thing that they just put water in, said, hey, they're free just for everybody. So she got them. She said they weren't like the best, but free, so that was good. We ended up getting a hot chocolate, and she was like, this is the best hot chocolate ever. It was pretty good. I don't know what they do with it, but it was a very, very nice, warm drink on a cold day. Uh, that was nice. The Irish pierogies we ended up getting, it was like one of their like staple foods, and I was not a huge fan uh, at all. They made like nachos out of them, put like sauerkraut and stuff on it, which I typically like, but for some reason the whole mixture all together did not sit well with me, and they didn't have much to choose from. Like it was mainly just burgers and hot dogs for their entire stadium concourse, and we ended up giving them just a 3.8 out of 10. It was not good. I would say this is probably the worst one we've been to so far, even though they did have some good things. But it's just something like they can't serve hot chocolate all the time. So it's probably only just when it gets cold out in late October, early November's December games. That's when they start bringing that out. So yeah, Concourse, we gave it 3.8. It was highly lacking at this specific spot, and I hope they've changed it over the years. But at the time, it was just eh. The value at Huntington Bank Field was quite well. I mean, it wasn't the best. Like, not everything was cheap, not everything was expensive, but it had a good middle ground to it. We ended up spending $423.91 on two tickets here. We sat in section 108, row 9. Uh, our gas that we spent driving here was $99.59. Spent $40 on parking, $135.98 on food, $327.83 on our hotel. So that would explain why we ended up seeing the Chargers there, because that was an expensive hotel. In total, we spent $1,026.31, and yeah, it's not a bad value. Cleveland was there. I mean, you stay at a little worse hotel, maybe spend a little bit more on parking or an extra Uber or whatnot, save a little bit of money, maybe. I don't know, but $1,000 for a 2 day trip to Cleveland to watch a football game, pretty cheap. $200 tickets a piece, a little over $200, pretty good. Ended up giving the value a score of a 6 out of 10. I think Cleveland had a really fine value to it. It's our total price wasn't too bad. The only thing that kind of maybe held this down a little bit is our hotel, because our hotel was kind of expensive. But if we didn't stay there, we never would have had that cool experience. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Our total score for the whole trip, we ended up giving it a 5.43 out of 10. Uh, a lot that I liked, also a lot that I didn't like. I can't let my fandom of staying in the same vicinity of the Chargers affect my score too much. I do think the Browns had a overall better experience than the Bears, but it was slightly worse than the Titans.
Well, that's not going to work.
I think those kind of stadiums are kind of all lumped in together. They're older stadiums and nice areas, and that's why like the Titans are getting a new stadium real quick. The Bears are in talks. I think the Browns have been in talks too, but they just can't agree on where to put it. And they really do just need to stay close to where they are, because it's nice to have other things near you, be on the lake, and have all that just to offer. And I think they would be really top tier football stadiums on a ranking if they just had some nicer amenities. Like, I don't know how everybody else feels, but when I go to the bathroom, I'm not trying to make eye contact and see everybody else's parts. Like, I'm a grower, not a shower, and it's not fun peeing in a trough. Like, if women just had toilets, no stalls, there would be an uproar and it would be fixed in a minute. So why am I peeing in a sink? Like, give me a urinal, give me the little side walls, and everybody look forward, please. Like, that's a big thing of why I don't like these stadiums. Bathrooms are lacking, seats are lacking, they're not very wide, not very, like, they're not padded at all. If you are sitting down or whatever the whole game, you're not going to like your experience. Some of them are like metal, so they get cold or hot, and vice versa. So it's just, there's things that I like. I like the area, I like the atmosphere, I like the fan base. It's just sometimes you got to provide a better experience for your fans, and Cleveland kind of fails to do that. So their score is a 5.43.